Officer of the Malaysian. He was appointed as the Chief Executive Officer of the Malaysian Palm Oil Certification Council from 15 February 2021. Besides his experience in the palm oil industry, Mr. Muhammad Hafiz has more than 20 years working experience with various organizations where his technical competencies gave him the edge in rallying the palm oil stakeholders towards driving success. He has a vast experience in market development, industry and government relations, communication, market analysis, project management, and planning. Mr. Muhammad Hafiz holds a master's degree in business administration from Multi University (MMU) and a Bachelor of Science in Information Technology from the National University of Malaysia (UKM). So without further ado, I would like to welcome Mr. Muhammad Hafiz to take a floor. This stage is yours, Mr. Muhammad Hafiz. Welcome.
Thank you, Puan Chairman. Terima kasih saya atas jemputan pihak MPOCC untuk menyertai siri webinar bersama antara UPM dan juga MPOCC. So, first of all, good morning, Assalamualaikum everyone who are here today for taking your time just to be here to listen to the topic discussed today. I believe this is just one of the part of 6 series that we have arranged. So I hope the previous series has been beneficial for you. You have got a good grasp of what MSPO is, but I'm just going to touch a little bit on that today. What I'm trying to say is today, after you've learned about MSPO and what exactly is MSPO on the technical side of it, you've already heard our speakers talk also about the things that we had done in MPOCC to ensure that we achieve all the things that are expected of MPOCC. And so I think it only beneficial for you to know what is ultimately MSPO is going to be done in the global market. What I'm trying to say is today is just a discussion more towards how it is discussion on potential. Because we know that MSPO for now. Hello, can you hear me? Because we know now that MSPO has that market potential, and it's like a new product, and we need now to promote it and to ensure that it is globally accepted. So what I'm going to discuss today is the market potential on doing MSPO. But before that, we're going to see the chronological events on why MSPO is required in the market, and how it will actually fill in the gaps that are on sustainable palm oil in the market. So allow me to share my screen. So before I start, we'll start with an overview of the market of palm oil. But before that, I have a question for you, especially if there are students here. If there's a tree that can meet the global demand by using the least amount of resources and land, affordable to everyone, it has a high yielding, high GHG absorption, gives income to the nation, especially to the millions of families who are directly and indirectly involved in the processing in the industry of that tree, and especially the smallholders that has enriched their life, give better opportunity to those who are involved in it. Shouldn't it be appreciated and supported? Well, today is a story of a tree that needs to prove itself that it is sustainable despite all the goodness that it has contributed to the world. So, and it has to prove itself for it to be accepted in the global market as compared to its peers. I would say peers, not rival, because this is in the food sector. I think there are no rivals. We all need food, so it's just a matter of trying to provide the best, because we don't have a lot of land. But I'll talk about that later. So to look at the overall palm oil in the global oils and fats market dynamics, in 2020, the production is 74 million, and it's expected to produce, the whole world is expected to produce around 78.5 million palm oil in 2021, this year. And it is simply because of consumption. If you can see the trend from 2016 to 2019, it just keeps increasing with a slight dip in 2020 due to the pandemic, but it's not any lower than 2018, and it will just keep on rising. So that's why palm oil will continue to be globally needed in various industries. So just a snapshot of what we are going to do today. Palm oil is produced 32% of the total oils and fats that's been produced in this world. 32% comes from palm oil. And that's a big jump coming in 1993. It was just 15%. Now in 2020, it's already commanding 32%, and it's the highest oil being produced. And world consumption also is around the same figure. It means that 1/3 of the world is using palm oil. So why? Because I said this, it is mostly categorized under food. 70% is being used in food. And if we look at the global food market, we can see that food can only increase. The trend since 2017 to forecasted 2025, it'll just keep
Sorry, Cik
increasing.
Hafiz. Sorry, Mr. Hafiz.
Yeah?
Are you share
Yeah.
your slide? Are you sharing your slide right now?
Yes, yes.
Because we cannot see your.
your.
Oh, I thought you still still in introduction, but we cannot see your
I
slide.
see. I'm so sorry. Wait, let me see. I thought I shared. So, my bad.
Okay.
Okay, can you guys see it now?
Yes, perfect.
Okay.
Okay, nice.
Okay, sorry. I think I'll just continue because this is just an intro or overview. So it will just keep increasing. If you can see, food, the trend from 2017 to 2025, it keeps on increasing. And you see, if you can see during the pandemic, it is shown that through the Sarista, which is one of the consultant that doing a market survey, you can see that even during pandemic, the food demand will just keep increasing. So if we narrow it down to go to the global oils and fats per se, which is the margarine and also our cooking oil, it's also increasing year on year. You see 3.7% CAGR since 2015 to 2025 is a strong increase in market growth. And also confectioneries, you know, all your ice creams and biscuits and everything and snacks is mainly is using palm oil. And of course, cosmetics, it goes without saying, all the girls are almost today, you know, use cosmetics for work, for whatever purpose that they need. So the demand will keep on increasing too. So what really happened? Because global demand keeps on increasing, but the criticism is palm oil is also being criticized. This could be due, if you can see how the European themselves are, you know, importing palm oil. You see, they seen in 1990 it was almost negligible, around 100 tons or so. Now they are almost depending on palm oil, especially in food, energy, and cosmetics. And the imports of palm oil is actually affecting the local oilseeds because of its it is competitively priced. Even after we export to Europe, the price is still lower than the heavily subsidized local oil that is being produced. And this is not, if you heard all these allegations before, this is not the first anti-palm oil campaign. It started way back. It was saying that it is a tropical oil, you know, they're linking palm oil to saturated fats. And then now they come up with deforestation. And all of this has been proven by science that it is not true. So now they go in the social impact where they accuse us of child and forced labor. So it's okay, we are trying to prove to them. The funny thing is, if we look at the Global Forest Assessment by FAO, 54% of the world's forest is only resided in 5 countries, which is the Russian Federation, Brazil, Canada, United States, and China. So let's see what are these 5 countries producing. And I think they would have more impact than Malaysia and Indonesia combined. Because if you can see, based on the global land use, agriculture, 50% of habitable land is already being used in agriculture, and only 22% is being used by crop. And if you look at, let's compare, let's see a quick comparison on palm oil and major oil producers. So if you remember just now, Brazil, Argentina, USA, Brazil and USA are part of the one of the 5 countries that is producing a lot of forest. But they use 129 million hectares of land in 2020. to produce soybean. And same goes, China and also the EU and Canada, they use rapeseed oil. They took 32.5 million hectares of land in 2020 to produce rapeseed oil. And also EU, Russia, and Ukraine sunflower, they took 28.1 million 8 million on top of 129 million land, rapeseed oil, 25 million, sunflower, 21 million. But palm oil just 3 million hectares of 75 million tons of oil. As is there, China is there, Russia is there. So, but why are they not scrutinizing other crops? Why only palm oil? This is because you cannot differentiate soybean from Brazil and Argentina as compared to US. So if they started to, so hello.
Hello, yes. Yeah, Mr.
Okay,
Hafiz.
where did you lost me?
No, just
oil
10
palm.
seconds. 10
Oil palm
10
rapeseed,
seconds. Okay.
Is it here?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. After this,
Dekat mana? Dekat sini ke?
the distribution of the used land after this slide. It's this one.
This slide?
Yes.
Okay. This is just to highlight that of the 71% habitable land on Earth, 50% is for agriculture and 23% is being used for crop, but most of it for livestock production. To show quickly here how palm oil just took 23 million hectares of land and produced 75 million tons of oil in 2020, as compared to soybean 130 million hectares roughly. Rapeseed oil 32 million hectares of land, and sunflower 28 million hectares of land, and just producing 58 million. If you see soybean is just 58 million tons as compared to palm oil 75 million tons, 74 million tons on a 129 million hectares of land. You see, if you look at the yield itself, palm oil shouldn't be scrutinized because our percentage of global agriculture area is almost negligible. It's just 0.46% of the total agriculture area in the world. But fine, so okay, they said, okay, we deforest, we need sustainable palm oil. So there's this effort by the industry members to actually have to do a consortium of RSPO, which has been around since 2004. It's a multi-stakeholders initiative. But since then, only barely 20%, 19% of sustainable palm oil is being taken up. So why is this demand really needed? I mean, if they really want to push for sustainable palm oil, it's only 20% this has been taken up. That's why I believe MSPO is the sensible solution to sustainable market demand. So before we start a little bit more on MSPO, I just wanted to say that it is a catalyst. MSPO is not just a certification, but you look at it as a catalyst for transforming the industry for sustainability, including smallholders. So these are 7 principles of MSPO, which I believe has been covered by the previous speakers. So which covers from the management commitment by the industry itself or by the smallholders all the way up, covering up to protection of the environment and social impact. So, and we are also very much in line with the UN SDG principles. And these are the main thing that we are looking. Previously, it was just 3P, people, planet, and profit, and now peace and partnership. So, okay, now we are getting more into market. As we wanted to see more sustainable palm oil being produced in the world, so MSPO have 2 sites of certification, which is the oil palm management certification and also the supply chain certification, which means the oil palm management certification covers the plantation right up to the dealers and now millers. And then the supply chain certification is from the mill onwards, where we ultimately what we really want is at the retailers or the consumer side of it, with just a click of a button. Ideally, this is what we wanted to do, is they can trace to who supplies their product. Are they sustainable? Are they responsible by opting for sustainable sources? And they can even later trace up to which plantation that their products came from. So this is part of our initiative, or ultimately the ideal situation where we wanted people to use our MSPO. And to do this, we've been working hard, I think, and also with the government support, we've achieved 88.1% certification, covering most of oil palm planted areas, and also MSPO certified mills. I think most of the mills, I think, can be said that it's already covered. So they are already MSPO certified. So in terms of implementation of MSPO itself, we are almost ready. I would say we are very ready to do this. So if you can see, I think this has been covered. I'm just going to go through this. We have collaboration with foreign governments and agencies to obtain international recognition. We work closely with state government to resolve land issues. And then, of course, ultimately, we wanted it to be very, very traceable and transparent. People can see our how palm oil is from Malaysia is being produced, and then increased number of certified smallholders, because they are the target group now that we wanted to gain, because we wanted a fair market access to everyone, including the smallholders, and review of the MSPO standards in order to remain relevant. So we have do our standards revision recently, and we've included some parts that are we think crucial, where we believe dealers should also be there, and also the segregation of a big plantation. And then we incorporate the HCV, which is the High Conservation Value Areas Assessment, social impact assessment, and greenhouse gas calculation, just to ensure that our certification now complies more to the global sustainability demand. Then that's why now we move to all of this, all that we do today that I've mentioned earlier, is all for us to have this a fair market opportunity to label Malaysian palm oil as a sustainable palm oil, where everyone can use it, and there will be no more criticism on how, despite the effort that we had done by the government and also the industry. So let's see for potential for sustainable palm oil. So before we start the market, I think one of the report that I saw on Market Watch is global sustainable palm oil market is valued approximately at $16.3 billion in 2019, and they anticipate it to grow at a 9.17% over the period of 2020 to 2026. So based on that, let's reflect on the Malaysian side of supply, which means that based on the certified MSPO that we already produced in Malaysia in 2020, 47.24 billion ringgit worth of Malaysian CPO in 2020 is already being produced, with a potential premium of 430 million value. Well, why do you say potential? Because these are missed opportunities, because we are in the midst of trying to, if this is being accepted by the global market, these are the kind of money that we can see pouring into the industry, benefiting everyone, especially the smallholders, to get these extra incentives from MSPO. So these are the potential. So now let's look at, if we are talking about potential, let's look at now maybe specific countries that has done some sustainability work on palm oil. We are not going to talk on EU and the US. Of course, those are the countries that offers, because I think Europe import around 8 million tons of palm oil. So as a region, they are the biggest importer of palm oil, but we are talking about something smaller, maybe individual countries also, where we can target this. And EU has come up with their own standards, where we are trying to negotiate and find a compromise whether how we can get MSPO to be accepted with EU. But we are not going to talk on EU and US, because there is known that they are the those who are very against sustainable palm oil, or they are using other method of securing palm oil into their system. So if we look at the potential market in other countries, there are still potential in other countries. I would go immediately. We think of demand for sustainable palm oil in Japan. Is everyone still with me?
Yes, yes. We can clear hear you. Okay.
Okay. Because if we look at the statistics again, Japan imported about 760,000 tons of palm oil in 2020, and they have been consistent at around 700,000 for the past 5 years. This is mainly being driven by demand for food and food manufacturing and other chemicals. But also, and on top of that, MSPO has been identified and acknowledged as one of the sources of sustainable palm oil for the Olympics 2020 and also Summer Paralympics. And as we know, Japan is a developed country, one of the OECDs, and one of the countries that strive for environmental protection. Despite them being one of the most industrious countries in the world. For instance, they strive for the carbon neutral, they do heavy recycling, and even since back then, they are really starting to do eco-labels to show that the products are actually environmental friendly. So demand is, Japan is really striving to this. So we can see that the potential for MSPO is here. If we, in fact, we have already had our first shipment based on our trial with Jofea and some of the Japanese buyers through the Olympics team. So that is the first step that we have already done. So we are trying to get more buy-ins from their industry members to buy more MSPO to be accepted in Japan. Not only on their food and the other chemical sectors, I would like also to see that they, in their efforts to be less reliant on nuclear because of the Fukushima incident and everything, the government plans to increase energy generation to renewable energy to 24% by 2030. I mean, if we look at JETRO statistics, that's their plan by 2030. They are moving from just 10% renewable to 24% renewable, which biomass is one as one of the feedstocks. And luckily enough, palm oil is so versatile from what we always say is from leaves all the way to the trunk. PKS or palm kernel shell, after the crushing of the kernel of palm oil, PKS is favored for palm oil biomass due to its price. Of all the biomass, it is the most affordable biomass, and it is mainly used in the CFB boilers, which are one of the boilers that is used for energy generation in Japan. And to capitalize on this, we in MPOCC has come up with we will come up with the chain of custody or COC certification for biomass to facilitate to certify biomass from Malaysia to be sold in Japan, and hopefully through successful negotiations with the Japanese counterparts and government, with the help of our other agencies like MPOB, we will get accepted and we can sell MSPO biomass to Japan soon. So Japan is one of the potential market that we are looking into. And then China, of course. When we talk about sustainability, we wouldn't always say China within the same word as sustainability. This is only because of the bad rap that they get, because they are very industrious for the past 20 years. So just a quick overview, they have been farming for 8,000 years, and they have gone through a lot of environmental and degradation, I would say. And starting from 1998, they acknowledged that after a certain natural disasters, the government decided that they need to invest in sustainability. So through 2015, they have already spent $350 billion in 16 sustainability programs and addressing 620 million hectares of land. So one of the most iconic is, of course, the Green for Green and Natural Forest Conservation Program, where they have planted a lot of trees in the Great Green Wall Initiative. So, but more importantly is the potential for palm oil in China. They are the second largest importer of palm oil in the world after India. they imported around 6.7 million tons of palm oil in 2020. Though a little bit down from 7.8 million in 2019, but this is due to pandemic, but I think they will pick it up more this year. And China, as we mentioned earlier, they are very concerned. Locally, they are very concerned on sustainability, and I think it's just a matter of turning on the switch later when they want to have a sustainable sourcing of palm oil. So that's why I said that's why we NPOCC and also again NPOB is trying to engage with the local agency to get MSPO to be recognized, so that later when they opt for sustainable palm oil, we are already there, and you can use MSPO as a trade tool to be accepted to trade palm oil in China. But more importantly, also China imported 2.5 million tons of palm oil, and which is mostly used in the food industry to support its 1.43 billion population. And therefore, for a country like China, where it is very population driven, the demand will only continue to show positive growth. Also, another country with one of the biggest population is, of course, India. It is the largest importer of palm oil, and also, of course, the Malaysian palm oil, which is around 7.5 million tons of palm oil is imported in 2020, down from 10 million in 2019. However, India too has established its own standard. India has also, be aware that they are one of the main consumers in the world. They need to be sustainable too. So they come up with an Indian palm oil sustainability framework, which covers their own palm oil production, which I think they are trying to push for this to of course, try to be less reliant on imports. But it also covers trade of palm oil. And it is in collaboration, of course, with the Malaysian government. MPOB is in this, and previously the ministry is also on board. So, of course, we are trying to get this at a G2G level where we can get some favorable, treatment in terms of MSPO. And because 4.4 million of Malaysian palm oil is being imported in 2020, that's a lot of palm oil going into India to feed its people, which is a 1.25 billion population. So again, the demand will continue to grow. And in India is mainly, of course, using food. And some of it is used in oleochemicals and also cosmetics. While we keep talking about Europe and US, those are developed countries, very educated, very sophisticated, and also high income. Let's also look at the other way to get into Europe. From my own experience, I can see that Eastern Europe could be the gateway to EU. This is, of course, because as I mentioned earlier, this is all just potentials that we're talking about, which should be looked into by the students later when you work for multinationals, or even if the government agencies and also other relevant agencies who are watching this, or even companies to look into this potential. Because in Eastern Europe, they imported around 220,000 tons of Malaysian palm oil, tons of palm oil from Malaysia, which is just around 20% of the total imports around that region. Granted, there are some challenges going into the Balkans, because I remember talking to one of the members of the parliament from Bulgaria. They said maybe because of the different bloc that Malaysia are in as compared to the Eastern Europe previously, because we are more, how to say, UK centric because of our history, which doesn't connect with them. But this is a new way. This is a new frontier for us to actually look into the Eastern Europe, which are like countries like Bulgaria. They are part of EU. Maybe we can start our production there and slowly get them to be MSPO certified in terms of trying to get sustainable palm oil, and slowly make our way into Europe. So this is also one of the potential that we can do. Because if you can see on the statistics, Bulgaria import about 30,000 tons and Romania about 18,000 tons of palm oil. Same goes with the Middle East and North Africa. This area is actually being talked about, has been the hotbed for the past 5 years. People realize that this is where the population also is. And I would say that for now, there is no real demand for sustainability. But some production and in Middle East, and also some parts of the North Africa are also catering to the Europe or and other parts of the world. So if we can get the acceptance in MENA region, if you can see, it's a lot of oil going into the MENA region. Egypt import 1 million of tons of palm oil. Algeria, Saudi 535 million thousand tons of palm oil. Though in Malaysia it fluctuated 165,000, but I think at its high, 500,000 tons of palm oil can go into Saudi. Oman, they are going to for self-sustaining, and also they are distributing to the MENA region. Same goes with Yemen and UAE. These are the countries that if we can look into the market potential, we can get them to be MSPO certified through the SCCS, and then we can get them to promote MSPO throughout the world from here, from MENA itself. So I've talked about the market potential, I've talked about MSPO, but ultimately, why MSPO? Why do I keep talking about market potential and MSPO? In Malaysian, in our perspective, because it is a fair scheme where it offers affordable certification, it doesn't burden those who are involved in it, because most of the certification are either in euro or in dollars, and they have like a yearly fee that they need to pay. While Malaysia, you only need to pay the certification audit. And on top of that, we provide market access to all involved in the industry, especially the small farmers, the independent smallholders that is under our category there. We also offer the government of incentives for them, because ultimately these are the people that we want to serve to get a clear, a fair market access. Because like all the other schemes are only being adopted by the big companies, so no matter what rule that you put on them, they can pay. Definitely they can pay. But these are the people, the small farmers are the people that we need them to have equal market access to the international market. And that's where that's the importance of MSPO. And I see that most of the certification, the international certification for palm oil has already adopted to get the smallholders to be involved in this. But we are already there. We've already got 40% of Malaysian smallholders already on board and more to come. And then why MSPO again? We are very transparent. It's very traceable. We have this system called MSPO Trace. You can download it on iOS and also on Android. Then you can see any estate that is already certified. You can even get it, get the acreage, and also this when do they certify. MSP, this is just the tip of the iceberg, the traceability, because later it will be linked to the consumer, as I showed earlier, to the consumer system, where it will be traceable from consumer up to the smallholders or to the plantation that is actually involved in the product. And of course, we are going to improve this. We are going to move to IR4. We are going to move to blockchain soon. That's in the pipeline already. And the government, this is a YMSP again, this is a government initiative. It covers the needs of the people and partner countries. The government wouldn't just come up with a product and say, hey, this product is as an inferior product. They need to ensure that this is a product that covers, that benefits its people, but more importantly, uphold its image to its partner countries. So as compared to other countries who are mainly driven by corporations, of course, they will only look into the profitability of things. If this is profitable, they will do it. But as a government initiative, we wanted to do it for our people, for our land, for our country, and for our relation with other countries. So that's why MSPO. And of course, other than that, is also a multi-stakeholders initiative. We get the NGOs to be on board, we get the industry to be on board, government to be on board, to give their inputs, and also other kind of representatives. And lower audit costs. Lower audit costs means it will not burden those who are trying to get involved in the scheme, but more importantly, we are already offering some incentives to the smallholders. And it has a non-fixed premium price, no membership fees in euro or in dollars or even in ringgit. And we provide a platform and information to traceability to plantation, like I mentioned earlier, the MSPO trace. You can use the MSPO logo, and also you have free access to MSPO trace portal, accurate traceability, and also free technical support by our technical advisory team, which works with MPOB tunas officers. And what are the benefits of using Msbo certified palm oil to product manufacturers? Of course, we want in terms of economy, all the other oils have a premium to it. Malaysian palm oil for now has less or even no premium if you buy this. It offers traceability that the consumers want, and it promotes good images. You know, like I said earlier, you procure the price fairly from the smallholders. This is an oil that is freely accessible by all. You know, it meets demand for the environmental sensitive market, and also is a market leader and pioneer in sustainable palm oil product in terms of national initiatives and drive. Increase productivity, it optimize, and then if you talk, what is benefit to local people when I say earlier, so it increased productivity. There are few studies that already shown that through the good agricultural practices that has already been adopted in MSPO, it reduced costs, but also it gives a higher income per hectare, where it is anywhere from 400 to I think 700 ringgit per hectare of additional income by doing the agricultural practices. Traceability and transparency, social integrity, like I mentioned earlier, we wanted to ensure that MSPO oil does not use child or forced labor. We want to ensure that everybody involved there are not, the pindas kind of thing, and also it's environmentally responsible again. So this is just a quick certification scheme supply chain process. Okay, let's say if we want to be MSPO certified, contact MPOCC. We will give you a list of auditors, certification bodies for you to do the main audit. They will come, they will do initial assessment to get you sorted out for the real audit, and then they will go and look for corrective action requests. And that's the whole process of it. They will see whether you are compliant. If you're not compliant, rectify it. Once you've rectified all those things, and then eventually we will give you the certification, and hopefully soon we will give you the market access to the global sustainable market. So I think I've spoken enough. So the key messages that I wanted to say today are three things. The demand for CSPO, or certified sustainable palm oil, will keep on increasing. Why? Because palm oil will continue to be in high demand in the world because of population drive, because it's economic, because it's high yielding, and it is being used on the least amount of resources needed to produce the oil. So it is most economical. Sustainability issues will continue to be the main agenda, so we will still be under the scrutiny despite only being planted on less than 0.5% of agricultural land in the world. So but the demand is there. We need to get certified, and the MSPO is a government initiative. It does not like any other certification. It focuses on fair market access to the smallholders and even to the big corporation, and it's government driven again. So naturally, government would want the best for these people and also with its partner country. And it's a good economical alternative. By lowering the acquired feedstock cost, it will eventually reflect back to consumer, where consumers don't have to pay too much of a cost burden that is implied from the high cost of feedstock. So those who are watching, if you are later going to be with an MNCs or with the local companies, and those who are already in MNCs or local companies or agencies, my take on this is, if you want to go to adopt CSPO, why don't you talk to your sellers, talk to them that how MSPO is a good alternative for certified sustainable palm oil, and these are the benefits I've already mentioned earlier. You know, because ultimately it comes to who decides what standards to use. It's ultimately buyer and seller. If you can convince your seller that MSPO is also good, so you will get a less cost alternative, a less cost heavy alternative, okay, that can actually be used to lower your cost, but still gives you the right amount of quality. I mean, I think that goes with everyone in the world, right? We all wanted the best quality, but at the lowest price. So for certified sustainable palm oil, this is it, you know, MSPO. So I end my presentation with that. Key messages. Please remember that the demand CSGO will keep on increasing. MSPO is a government initiative and is an economical alternative. I would like to take this opportunity. Hello? Still with
Yes.
me?
Yes.
Okay. I would like to take this opportunity to all Malaysians who are watching this. Tell your friends also that know more on palm oil. So if you want to know more on palm oil, plus if you can win some prizes, you want to win some prizes, go to sawit.com.my. It has all the good information on palm oil. Be part of the sustainability debate on the internet. I summons all the Tentera Bawang Malaysia to fight all this misinformation on palm oil, misinformation on palm oil, which we have been attacked unfairly. Tolonglah pakcik-makcik yang dekat Felda yang bersusah payah membanting tulang, tapi bila di international market, dia orang dituduh sebagai tidak mengikuti standard kelestarian. Dan juga akhir sekali, kita tengah buka untuk we are open for public consultation for our revised MSPO standard, which is a way better standard. It meets all the global demand, global sustainability demand. Go there. I mean, the link is too long, tapi just go to mpocc.org.my. At the announcement, immediately you can see first public consultant. Click on it. Get yourself involved. If you have questions, if you want to add something, be there, make your voice heard. Let's make MSPO a government initiative that protects the importance of Malaysia, pakcik-makcik kat kampung, even the industry which provided millions of jobs to the Malaysians, to be protected and use MSPO as their oil. So with that, I end my presentation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for very detailed and informative presentation, Mr. Muhammad Hafiz. So we open for the Q&A session. I would like to invite the participant to feel free to ask questions to Mr. Muhammad Hafiz. You can ask directly, or you write in chat box. So we have two questions here. So one from Mr. Muhammad Amran. So salam and good morning. How can the student help to increase awareness of palm oil sustainability and MSPO of the society? So we talk about the makcik-makcik bawang tadi.
Students, I think students play a very important role in trying to get this message across, because students, through student bodies, through your networks of friends, you are the most, I would say, capable people of trying to do this, especially on social media. We can see the reach of social media not only in Malaysia, but it's a global effect. In fact, overseas, the attack on palm oil is also partly being induced by the foreign students. So if you can, your friends, the foreign students to do this, your circle of people, your student bodies, and the student association, link up, find more information. Like I said, go to sawit.com.my. You can win some prizes, cool prizes. Go to mpocc.org.my. Go to mpoc.org.my, mpob.gov.my. These are good information on palm oil. Learn, because there is especially there are some infographics where you can easily to digest information. Go there and spread the word around. Even maybe you can collaborate with the government agencies. They will help you out and maybe make a student program out of this. The possibility is endless. By just one share, one retweet, it'll blow up soon.
Yeah, I agree too. Our student, youth generation, a very important role for sustainability our oil palm industry. So the next question from Mr. Zuhelmi. Salam. So how will the oil palm industry fulfill the global demand if the supply is inefficient in the future?
Okay, thanks, Zuhelmi. I just wanted to highlight that it's never enough, actually. I did not include one slide which we always put is the growth of human population as compared to the growth of edible oil production year on year is actually at a deficit. it will never be enough. However, and currently palm oil is supplying to 1/3 of the population, global population. It is never enough. In fact, all that we exported are almost immediate finished. So to answer that question is a supply and demand things. Palm oil will continue to be driven. What we can do is there are initiatives from the industry and from the government agencies to increase yield on an already existing land. Through genome projects, through better practices, through new fertilizers, and trying to mitigate the diseases that have already taken some of the percentage of yield, potential yield. So in terms of how to fulfill the global demand, it is already inefficient, Chizo. And however, now, despite that it is not enough for the world, now they are imposing more, which is the sustainability criteria, which I'm not saying is bad. But sometimes the NGOs can be a little bit overzealous or extreme in trying to push this agenda at our expense, at the producer's expense. So I would say it's already inefficient, but we are trying our best to improve our yield. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, me too. I agree with the implement with the MSPO and certification. We can maintain the quality, or maybe we can increase, because we see the content of the MSPO certification, right, to support the yield of the future oil palm. So next we have the question from the Aaron Spencer. How to identify a non-certifiable body MSPO auditor? How to identify?
Yeah, I think you can go to our website. I'm not sure if it's still there because we are already in the process of standard revision. But just go to our website. We will have a list of our certified bodies. There are certified auditors there. Certified bodies, SCBs there. You can look at those companies and you can engage any of them, because if they are not certified or they are not certified auditors, we definitely will not put them there. Yeah, that should answer the question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your question, Mr. Aaron. Hopefully your question already answered. So we have another question from Cik Ahmad. Salam, Mr. Hafiz. I'm very interested to work in conservation of forest and wildlife area. Do you think there will be any job opportunities in conservation for me in palm oil industry?
Okay, Cik Ahmad, you're on the right track, I would say that. Because even if you are not interested, there are, of course, sustainability is a thing right now. I mean, various ministries are looking into this. Even MIPI is also looking at green business. The other day we talked to them. So sustainability is a hot topic right now. So in any organization, you will, inshallah, find a good, you can find a job in plantation, in NGOs, or even in corporate sectors. But of course, I'm not promising anything, but I'm just saying that generally that's a way, that's a field where we lack the experts, when we need more people like you in various industries, in conservation, also in corporate sustainable initiative. I think past 3 years, I read there's this new chief sustainable officer now also available in the corporate world, So it just shows that the importance, not only chief finance officer or chief operating, now they have chief sustainable officer, which shows the importance of sustainability in corporate organizations. So I think you're on the right track. And I wish you good luck. Thank you.
Okay, this one comment from Mr. Amran. Maybe thank you for the answer. Maybe the student can form Palm Oil Club interest group chapter we have from MPOCC. So maybe MPOCC we can help our student for form the club and so on. So we have okay.
Yes.
Okay. So Mr. Aaron also, same from Mr. Aaron. What is the direction of palm oil biodiesel in Malaysia in the future? Direction of palm oil biodiesel.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Aaron. I'm not sure I'm the right person to answer this, but just based on my understanding on the direction of palm oil biodiesel, You see, palm oil biodiesel is somewhat subsidized also in Malaysia. And we are also trying, though we are one of the oil producing countries, it is good that if we want to show our seriousness in trying to be more sustainable, because as a country on our own, we are trying to, we have our own carbon cutting pledges at international level too. So I think we are going with B20 soon. It's been in the pipeline for quite some time because there are a few hindrances, which I don't think it is in my position to tell about this. But I think we are trying to do a biodiesel program because in fact, if we should pursue this because the market for biodiesel also is very big, especially in Europe. So for now, I would say that we are slowly but steady pursuing our biodiesel program in Malaysia.
Okay. So we have active participant, yeah, Mr. Hafiz. Okay, so next we have Muhammad Shafiq. Does the sustainability matter been included in the course outline? Some of university has included in their subject such as engineering, especially exposure of students to the sustainability still low. So does the sustainability matter been included in the course outline? Is it some university? Maybe this one for the UPM, I think. So if you comment,
I think I better the
comment.
doctors.
Dajit. Okay, sorry. So that's the celebrity. So hopefully, okay, this one we'll discuss with the coordinator for the subject. Okay, next we have
if I may interject,
okay.
Sorry, Doctor. If I can interject, I think my personal opinion, sustainability should be included, but it depends for each of the subject. But don't delve too much on the technicality of it. But
okay,
just focus more on the application of it. Like in engineering, what are the latest tech that you can do? What are the criteria that you can do in terms of slowing down the GHG or ethical sourcing? Those are kind of things that maybe each of the faculty in its own way can inject sustainability awareness in each of the subjects that they are about to offer.
Yeah. Okay, thank you for the suggestion. But yes, exposure of students to the sustainability still low. But I think that's our current program also shows the effort for the increasing the awareness of sustainability. So we have Datin here. Question from Datin. You want to say that question, or I can read for you? I unmute Datin. Unmute your speak. Unmute your. Datin, we cannot hear you.
Datin, I think.
Okay, it's okay lah. Okay. Okay, dah.
And here now.
So,
yes,
yeah. Thank you for joining us, Datin.
Yes, I'm a former lecturer, pensioner now, in Faculty Pertanian, and I've been involved in teaching sustainability in a few courses. So the sustainability outline is already in most of the courses that we have. And yeah, so my question is on sustainability, if I may continue with the questions. As you know, biodiversity is one of the main issue that is brought up which goes against our palm oil production. And so the MSPO, how do you address in that standard on resolving that biodiversity issue? Are you going to, is there any kind of outline or guideline for plantations to more or less maybe redesign instead of monocropping mostly, but to include some zone or, some percentage of acreage for other crops? Thank you.
Thanks, okay. I would say, let's say generally all sustainability certificate already has all these criteria going into. There is no, I think if you go to RSPO, there's already an NDPE, which is no pit, no deforestation, and exploitation. And of course, riparian reserve have been talking. I think all of the big plantations have already prepared the riparian reserves, and we are increasing more and more sustainability efforts going into trying to avoid this human-animal conflicts too. Because I believe the industry has been working with Perhilitan, trying to resolve most of the human-animal conflicts. Plus, on MSPO itself, we in our standard revision, we have already included HCV assessment, high conservation value assessment. Not only that, we don't stop on that. We have social impact assessment, environmental impact assessment, and also now we also want to include the GHG calculators. These are all working towards ensuring not only biodiversity, but also social impacts is not rampant, or no exploitation is rampant within in the whole industry. So I hope that that's a good question. Thanks for that. But maybe you can come to our public consultation and give your input on this, and maybe one of our technical people will delve more into this if you wanted to know. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, Datin.
Yeah, thank you for the invitation. Well, I will be pleased to help. I'm involved.
Okay.
I've been teaching on sustainability.
Okay, thank you, Datin. So we move to the last question, Mr. Hafiz, from iPhone. Okay, how to differentiate between MSPO and other sustainable palm oil product out there in terms of marketing?
Okay, thank you. That is something that we are working on. Of course, the simple answer would be look for the MSPO logo. It's right there. If you can see in my left ear, that's the MSPO. That's the one, MSPO logo. Yeah, look for that logo on products. But for now, there are only 2 products that is having that MSPO logo. However, we are planning to have more of those products in there with MSPO logo in the future. So immediately look for the MSPO logo on the product in the future, because we are like MPOCC is quite new, still very new. For the past 5 years, our effort is trying to get people to be certified. Now we are out here trying to make more market accessibility, more market recognition. So you will see more of MSPO logo on the product. So that shows that the product contains at least the product contain certified palm oil, which is sustainably produced, that follows all the principles and criteria of MSPO.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Hafiz. That's a good question, I think. So, we have another 2 questions. Is it okay, Ms. Hafiz, or we okay? So from the Nora Fazila,
Sure.
okay. After we receive the MSPO certificate, is there anything we have to do? From Fazila, after we receive the MSPO certificate, is there anything?
Yeah, nothing. For Fazila, if you got the MSPO logo, MSPO certificate, we would encourage you to use the MSPO logo on your products. In fact, we are trying to engage with the program. Let's say you're a multinational, you're working for a multinational company, or you are working with the company that export palm oil with foreign partners. We would encourage, maybe you can contact one of the MPOCC or my personal email, mhafiz@mpocc.org.my, on a potential collaboration program where we will certify your buyers, and then we will help you to promote the MSPO logo on your product at the market destination with your local partners. So the possibility is endless, because we are trying to get market acceptance, and definitely we encourage, like in my presentation earlier, we encourage companies, local, big or small, to come forward and use the MSPO logo and promote MSPO logo to your partners overseas. So we, MSPO and MPOCC, we will try to facilitate this as much as possible. So answering your question, use the logo on your product, talk to MPOCC how we can potentially help you promote this MSPO, your product with MSPO logo in your target market. Okay, thank you.
Okay, we have another question for Mr. Shafiq. He's mentioned last question, Mr. Hafiz. So sustainability practice involving a lot of cost, and as your slide has mentioned, to produce fully sustainable palm oil product from Malaysia. In terms of benefit, is there any special rate or price on due to the celebrity will causes cooking oil price will increase? This was current issue.
Yeah. Well, let me start with I look at this, Mr. Zaha. Also, I think this my question covers both. Hopefully, first of all, the prices of the market cooking oil, it depends on all market forces. Like currently, though it's coming down, but we are at a year where the crude palm oil prices is at its highest ever recorded. So if the feedstock is expensive, so the end product is also expensive. Nothing can be done about that, I think. Let's get so actually it's market forces that nothing that we can do about it. Of course, through government interventions, through subsidies and everything. But I'm not in a position to talk anything on that. But we do have also government initiatives to give subsidized palm oil in the 1 kilo cooking pack. So those are the government efforts. Other than that, there is no telling on how we can control this. However, with MSPO certification, in the perspective of MBOCC also, in the perspective of MSPO, that there will be some cost that needs to be incurred on the producers to apply for MSPO. That's why MSPO charges are very, very minimal as compared to the other certification, which charges in euros and dollars. We are charging in ringgit, and that's also very minimal. And I think if you can cut it down to cost, most probably it'll just increase. I think around 2 to 5 cents, per ton of oil that's being produced. So I wouldn't say that will truly burden the end consumers with certification that MSPO offers. However, again, though I say that, but that's in the initial stage. Later, if or when MSPO has got its good market standing, where it is sorted over, which of course we in MPOCC hope for, not for us also, but for Malaysia. But if later it is really sought for, where people really wanted it, so I believe MSPO, the traders, and like I said, market forces will definitely try to squeeze a little premium out of the MSPO oil, and which could increase a little on the pricing on the product. But that is on MPOCC side, we are trying our very best to keep our costs very, very minimal so that it won't totally impact, especially the local cooking oil market. So I hope that answers the question. Thank you.
So I think we have a very active participant today, Mr. Hafiz. That I think that's your topic is very interesting, and yeah. But we almost 11 a.m. that I think that reach our time for the webinar. So for the rest
sorry for the interrupt.
Yes.
Boleh saya tanya satu soalan?
Boleh. Okay. Of course. Cik Faiz, boleh?
Ya. Okay, saya Faiz daripada Sinergi Perdana Marketing. Saya sales executive lah di sebuah syarikat baja. Okay, saya nak tanya, dekat market sekarang, terlampau banyak baja fake, baja clone, di mana dekat bag dia tulis 15, 15, 15, 12, 12, 17, 2, tapi ingredient, nutrient kat dalam tu tak sampai pun, dan ada yang tak ada pun. So untuk masalah ni, sebab contoh kalau estate dia ada buat resampling bila barang sampai, tapi untuk orang kampung dia tak ada buat benda tu. So adakah MPOCC ni ada cara nak overcome masalah ni? Itu saja, terima kasih.
Okay, I think on the operation side, I would not really know any. Sorry, ini kena minta panggilan Hayat. Anyone from MPOCC, are we responsible for sourcing of identifying the right kind of baja ke tak kan? I don't believe so. I would say no.
Baja tu
tak. Kita tak responsible on baja.
Ya, tak ada. Lebih kepada MPOP punya jurisdiction.
Ya, betul.
MPOP.
Well, thanks Farin and Yazrin. Yes, I would say tak, sebab kita lebih fokus kepada the production itself. Jadi apa-apa yang lain tu dari segi operasi, kita ada MPOB yang akan menguruskan dari segi teknikal tentang baja dan sebagainya lah. Terima kasih Encik Faik.
Okey, terima kasih.
So okay. So then I would like to thanks to Mr. Hafiz for the very informative, interesting topic. Then I think we have another question from the participant. But participant, I think can directly contact Mr. Hafiz, right? If they have
Yes,
any questions,
please
yes,
contact me.
yes.
I'm going to give my email mhafezh@npocc.org.my, or you can just send info@npocc.org.my. Definitely you will be attended to. Just ask any questions, we will definitely get back to you. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Okay, thank you again to Mr. Hafiz for the sharing topic today. So for announcement, there will be another webinar next week on 23rd June 2021, same time, 10 a.m., which on the way forward for career in the Malaysian palm oil industry by Dr. Muhammad Arif bin Abdul Manaf, Director Advanced Biotechnology and Breeding Center ABBC MPOB. So particularly to students who are interested get a career in palm oil industry, please feel free to join next webinar. So thank you very much for once again thanks to Mr. Muhammad Hafiz, and then so thank you and stay safe and stay healthy to everyone.
Thank you UPM for inviting us, and thank you everyone who are here today. I wish you all the best. Keep safe. Take care semua. Assalamualaikum.
Okay, thank you. Salam.
Terima kasih Encik Hafiz.
Thank you everyone. Thank you to organizer.